Hi, I'm Chef Tammy Brawley from the Green Kitchen. Welcome to Heart of the Home. Today I'm going to show you guys a very cool chocolate cookie I just discovered recently and a couple of unique twists to it that I like to do. This cookie recipe actually calls for rye flour, which is pretty amazing. I'm a big rye grain fan. I think it's great. And we've got rye flour here, and we've got cocoa, chocolate chips, a little baking soda, some sugar, butter, vanilla extract. Kind of your standard cookie ingredients, but there's a couple little things we're going to do. First thing you always want to do when you start with the cookies, you want to cream together the butters and the sugars. We've got brown sugar and we've got white sugar. And in this case, we want to add the butter. You can pretty much want to do this at room temperature butter, which is better. We'll put that right into the mixer. You want to use your beater blade. Creaming butters and sugars can sometimes take a while, but if you've left the butter out for a little while, it should not take that long. You want it to come into a nice cohesive mixture. While it's blending, you want to go ahead and add about a teaspoon or so of vanilla extract. And in some of our recipes, we always cut it down depending on the camera shots. So we're going to add about a half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. That's going to blend. While that's creaming in the mixer, you want to go ahead and whisk together your dry ingredients. We've got the rye flour. We've got cocoa powder. I really do like to use a special dark cocoa because I think it gives it a more pronounced chocolate flavor. And we have baking soda that we want to add in there. And now one of the killer ingredients that I've discovered recently is a chocolate sea salt. Yes, you heard that right, chocolate salt. There's a franchise out there that sells these particular specialty salts. We want to put about 1/8 of a teaspoon into our mix here. I'm actually going to go ahead and add just a little bit more to our blended mix, the butter and the sugars there. Then you want to whisk together your dry ingredients. You want to take a look at what's in the mixer bowl. You really want to make sure it does blend well together. So I'm going to actually take it off for just a moment. I'm going to come through. Now you can see some of the ingredients that are still on our blade. So you want to actually get those down a little bit. You really want this nice and mixed, very nicely together. Cohesive mixture. That's a great little term there. We'll sit that there. Mix that in just a little bit more. I can feel by the way it feels on my spatula that it is nice and mixed. I'm going to come back to the bowl. All right, we're going to go on a low speed here. And now you want to slowly add your dry ingredients. Trust me, if you do it too fast, you're going to wear it. You don't want to do that. So we're going to add our dry ingredients here. Coming together quite nicely. And now the last thing I want to add is actually the miniature chocolate chips. I will say that when I first tried this recipe, I used the larger chips, and it didn't come out so well when you bake the cookies, so I really prefer the smaller ones. So we're going to add those in there. All right, and now it's blended very nicely together. I'm going to take my bowl off, and I'm going to get the mix together here onto a sheet of parchment paper. What's going to happen is we have to actually mix this onto the paper and then roll it up into a log, and then it has to go into the refrigerator for 2 hours. Must be 2 hours because you want this to actually firm up. These cookies come out more like a shortbread. So after it's been in the refrigerator for a couple of hours, we bake them off. But in the meantime, I'm going to show you. We're going to pull it onto the parchment paper. Now you just you can manipulate the parchment paper back and forth. You want to kind of squeeze it, roll it into a log. All right, so we're going to roll it up. Twist the ends, like that old Christmas candy your grandmother used to have on her table. You want to put this into the refrigerator for 2 hours. All right, we've pulled it out. We're actually going to now cut our cookies and bake them in the oven. We unroll the dough. I like to use a serrated knife to cut it. I think it's just works a little bit better. Serrated knives are actually very good, not only for breads, but they're also good for red meats and things like that. So I use a lot of serrated knives. Cut down. You want to cut probably about 1/4 of an inch, maybe a little smaller. I wouldn't go any bigger of the cookie. All right, we're going to place them on our parchment lined sheet tray. And then we're going to come back with some more of that delicious chocolate sea salt. We're going to sprinkle this over the top of the cookies. We already have our oven preheated to 375 degrees, and the cookies take about 20 minutes or so. You want to stop about halfway through and check the cookies. I like to always rotate everything I ever bake in the oven. A lot of ovens have hot spots. You certainly know yours better than I do. So we're going to pop this into a 375-degree oven for 20 minutes. All right, so the cookies went into the oven for about 18 to 20 minutes. I did have something sort of unexpected happen, and this is actually a good learning teaching point for you guys. These cookies actually spread. They're really not supposed to do that. They are supposed to stay in a shape, and they actually come out more of a firm, like a shortbread cookie. And a lot of times what that's a function of is if you have left the dough out of the refrigerator too long, the butter will soften up, and that can cause this spreading issue. Or if you have not left the dough in the refrigerator long enough. The very first time I tried this recipe, I did leave the dough in the refrigerator overnight. So when I cut it the next day for baking, they did maintain a shortbread, smaller cookie. That's not to say that you can't eat these. These are very delicious. In this case, they're warm. I think I might go pour a glass of milk. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to come through with our spatula. I decided to take them off like this. Sometimes you will see the cookie form, and you can use your spatula to do the definition. So now we've got a delicious chocolate cookie topped with that chocolate sea salt that I mentioned in the recipe. You know, Valentine's Day is coming up, you guys. Perhaps you want to try these for Valentine's Day. So we're going to put them on a nice, beautiful platter. And there you have it. Chocolate rye cookies topped with a chocolate sea salt. I'm Chef Tammy Brawley from the Green Kitchen. Join us next time on Heart of the Home.
Recipes from the Heart of the Home can be found on the Virginia Farm Bureau website at vafb.com/recipes, as well as on Chef Tammy Brawley's website at greenkitchenrichmond.com.